Oh, we've been muted. We were muted the entire time.
The entire time. We got to take it from the top. Oh yeah, these things are never scripted. We're so sorry you missed out.
Oh, the first few seconds of the video are just us.
Hey.
What a great start. Like, I couldn't think of a better way to start this off. I love this.
Awesome. I love it.
Absolutely great.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to click in here so I can see comments. We're obviously in a Zoom setting right now.
We are obviously. Not obvious to me.
We are super excited you guys are here.
We are.
Now, to go back a little bit, we are going to be talking about Miami Rum Fest a little bit here today, which we're super excited about.
Where is that again?
Miami, I believe.
Illinois?
Yeah, I believe it's not Illinois. I don't think it's Illinois.
Ohio.
Yes. We're going to Ohio for Miami Rum Fest. We have a problem. We have a serious
fantastic.
We have a serious problem.
Loving it.
So I love it. So let's get into this. I've got to get some chats here. I'm getting them chats. Jeremy says first. Carlos says second. No sound. Carlos, did we fix it?
Did we fix it? Can you hear us now?
Are we fixed? Now we got sound, Carlos says. Greg's here. How you doing, Greg? I also had no sound, and Jeremy retracted the message before I could finish reading it super fast.
We were doing like the silent movie type thing.
Yes, we were going back in time to moving picture days.
We were feeling a little nostalgic this evening.
That's what it was.
You know, we had a little bit of rum so far.
Yes.
Just a little bit, right?
Makes perfect sense.
And so, yeah, we were just having a little bit of fun with y'all, and it wasn't a technical problem where somebody forgot to unmute us at all.
Never. That never happened.
No, didn't happen. That did not happen.
Mrs. Doc, how you doing? Welcome in, Phil.
Oh, Mrs. Doc's in the house?
Yeah, Mrs. Doc's in the house. So
Yep, right here. Got it good and handy.
So I'm taking him a second here. I'm posting into the group while
you do your
Roy entertains you.
Yep. So in case anybody hadn't seen it, I just got done posting a really cool video on our after hours on Facebook that Doc was kind enough to share with us that they're heading back down to Florida, right? And they're going to be hitting all these different places. So make sure that you go in and say hi to them, try their rum, and tell them that the boys from Just Drinking sent you there.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah, that'll be our theme song. The boys are back in town.
So here in just a minute, we are going to bring in Rob and Robin Burr from Miami Rum Renaissance Festival, which we will be attending
here
next weekend. So we're going to bring them in, talk a little bit about the event coming up.
We're excited. We are very excited. They always put on a wonderful event. Now, they really do.
There's a secret here.
There is a secret?
I don't think they know that we're live.
Oh, they don't know.
So they're just going to come in.
They're going to come in?
We don't know what to expect.
Oh, yeah.
So
should I text them, let them know that?
They want to text them quick and say, hey, we are live about to bring you in. That might be a good thing in case they don't have the live up, which is totally fine. So let's just give them a quick heads up before we do that. And I'm going to read some comments, but before I do, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. It really does help us out. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. The links below are not there at the current moment.
They aren't? Why aren't they?
They should be there, but I have a lot of copy pasting, whatever. I can get them here somewhere afterwards. I'm going to get them posted afterwards. So if you come back and play afterwards, you will be able to click the links that will be in there, added in. And not only will we have all our normal links for like our Patreon and our Rum Club and the Just Drinking After Hours Facebook group and Instagram and TikTok, but we'll also add a link to the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival that you guys will be able to link to as well if you're looking for tickets. Obviously, if you're coming to watch this video, you may and you watched us mime in the beginning. Have you sent this yet? What are you doing over here? I didn't tell you to text your girlfriend.
Oh.
Said send a message.
Oh.
Did you send a message to Rob and Robin?
Well, I sent it to Robin.
Okay, well, as long as one person has them, we're going to give them a minute to receive the message because I haven't seen anything over here yet. So let's just give that a second.
I'm getting thirsty again.
Texas Rum Fest. It's right next to Iowa. Greg watched the video today. If you haven't seen our most recent video, was today. It was a Texas rum, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun in that video.
Okay. They are waiting.
They're waiting. Okay, good deal. Doc is here starting the Florida Total Wine Tour.
Yeah,
we love it.
Baby.
Just posted it. Gina, hello.
Right here.
Welcome in. Phil says Canadian Rum Fest. Yes, that's where we got to get. John Hasbrock from Just Rum is here. How you doing?
John's here. John's in the house. Oh man, we got a lot A lot of celebrities here.
I love it. Gina, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it. Your rum is on the way. That's what I hear. Okay, so we got it fixed. By the way,
we got it fixed.
So thank you for letting us know.
The delay.
All right,
but it's on its way.
The moment we've been waiting for.
So are you going to let them in?
I'm going to let them in.
Okay, let them in.
Welcome,
Robin.
Here they come. I don't know how long this will take. Oh,
hey,
we got one
right there.
Right there.
There you go. There's Mr. Rob.
Yes.
That was truly scary.
So I gotta fix our sound real quick as they're coming in, because now all I'm hearing is our feedback. Here we go.
Okay.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, but my video is frozen.
Frozen? Are we frozen?
Are we frozen?
Or are you just
no,
frozen?
My video is frozen on my screen. Do you see me okay?
We do. We
see you and Robin.
We see the top half frozen.
You look very intense.
Yes.
Yeah,
you gotta love the internet.
I'm gonna do the video on and back off again. Let's see. Video settings. It's probably the new system I installed, right?
Oh,
that's usually what causes it. Yep. It always changes and stuff.
Them and updates and you know all that good stuff.
Technical difficulties are always fun.
So right now, I'm going to go ahead and pour myself a nice little drink.
What a surprise!
Doc Brown's really bad rum.
What a surprise! Phil says burr. I don't know if you're talking about the burrs or if you're talking about how chilly it is in Iowa because it's very cold.
It is very chilly.
There we go. We got some visual now.
Hey, now I'm upside down. This is amazing.
I did not know that this was the Spider-Man version.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. How did you do that?
Wow. That is really wicked. All right, let's see.
All right, we got it.
Hey, there we go.
I love
there we go.
That's my old camera.
We should really learn how to do that so we can have dramatic turns.
Back to Spider-Man.
You may have to. I love this. I love this.
How did you do that, Rob?
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
It's amazing. So as you guys are waiting, obviously, if you have any questions along the way, we will see your comments. We have your comment section up here, so feel free to keep on chatting. We got them right side up.
We got them right side up.
Oh man, I was hanging upside down for a long time there.
I hope all the blood didn't rush to your
face is all red.
My face is all red. Wow, you guys look like you're at a familiar place.
Oh yes,
we spend a lot of time here. We really do.
And you're wearing cool clothing, and that's what counts.
Right? You recognize this, right?
That's right. Liquid gold, baby.
Yeah.
So do you guys know Doc Brown?
Oh yes.
Yes. We didn't, but we do now.
Yes. So back in
is a pretty cool guy.
Back in 2019, he actually won our Rum of the Year before we had any idea who Doc was.
Yeah. So So he actually reached out to us, and we've been friends ever since. I mean, it's a great company, great people. We love Doc and Mrs. Doc. They do a great job. They've got a great product right here. That's why
all the real humans in the rum business are easy to be friends with.
Yeah,
exactly.
A lot of people that work for a company, but they're not the company.
Yep,
and
exactly.
When you find these people that are the company, it's fun, right?
So they're actually heading back to Florida, and they're doing a road trip, and they're going to be stopping off at a bunch of what is it? I forget. Not ABC. Total Wine.
There it is.
Total Wines.
Yes. Yeah, Total Wine. Yeah.
We don't have those around here, so not real familiar with them.
Oh man, Total Wine is outrageous. It's just amazing how big they are and how much product they have.
Yeah.
Well, so they're going to be really nice store is we have ABC Wines and ABC Spirit. Those are beautiful stores.
Yep.
We have one not far away that's gorgeous.
Well, I don't think people realize that Florida at one time was a controlled state, and the only liquor stores were ABC, Alcohol Beverage Commission.
Oh,
seriously?
It's that way in a lot of states. Usually, when you go to a state store, it's called ABC. If you ever know,
that's crazy. I had no idea that Florida was a controlled state.
It was long ago. Yeah,
that's crazy. Wow. So there's still hope for Iowa.
Maybe Iowa won't be this way forever.
We'll try and get that
stores nowadays are big stores with tons of product.
Yeah.
Like Total.
These are the dreams that we have here.
Yeah. So our liquor stores, we've got tons of products, but it's like got like 4 or 5 varieties. You know, it's
all the same companies.
all the same company. And
the big advantage of Total, if you look in there, you'll see that they have some products that are labeled Spirit Direct.
Yep.
And they basically have a monopoly on those products because they are their own importer and their own distributor. And so the importer, usually takes 25-30% markup. The distributor takes 25-30% markup, and the retailer is 25-30%. So the cost of rum, like you go into Total Wine, they can sell you a handle of rum, a 175 for like $12.50.
Wow.
And you figure like that's $24 cheap at a regular liquor store,
Right.
Yep, exactly.
You're just cutting out the middleman there a bit. So it's really kind of amazing. Now, the other thing is that if you go into there, other distributors won't buy from you because they can't match those prices.
Makes sense.
So that's the double side of it. So look what Richard Seal does in Barbados, right? He wants to get a lot of money for his Foursquare, but he sells Doorleys for unbelievably cheap price direct by I think by 20 containers at a time or something. It's a huge buy.
Yeah.
And so you can buy Doorleys 12-year-old for $27 at Total Wine.
Beautiful.
And whereas that rum will go for $45 to $60 anywhere else.
Right. Exactly. Especially here in Iowa.
If you could get it.
It'll go for 80 if it makes it here.
Yeah. And listen, then even on top of that, that's nothing like the prices in some countries where you pay just a ridiculous liquor tax for the privilege of enjoying liquor,
Right. So we are super excited to have you guys here. We've been hyping this up a little bit. We got our tickets to the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival.
All the tickets that we need.
We are we have plane tickets.
Two or three apiece, just to be sure,
So we are super excited. We got some hellos, Mrs. Doc.
Are you guys going to stay at the Courtyard Marriott? The seminar?
Yes,
we're staying where the seminars are.
Yep, exactly.
It's a good deal.
Yep.
So we're really excited about that. Mrs. Doc says hi, by the way. She's in the comments. Says hello to you guys. We got some people joining us here. When you were upside down, Phil thought his plantation 5-year at dinner had him seeing you upside down. So I was glad to hear that it wasn't that.
I'm gonna have to try to remember how I did that. I just
right.
That's awesome.
So and Greg, obviously being from Iowa, says unfortunately Total Wine does not ship to Iowa.
Yeah, unfortunately they don't.
So
there's a lot of places that don't have a Total Wine or anything like that, and so there's a lot of disparity in the country. And listen, some brands just don't even have enough of an army to go into every state.
Yep.
It takes,
and that's where we come in. That's exactly where we come in. We want to try and be that army for those companies.
You are rum mercenaries, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
There it is.
But we're honest. We are honest about the things that we enjoy.
Everything we feel, everything we think about, all the different rums, and it's fun because it's just our journey, getting to see it alongside. And what's cool is we're over here and we're kind of doing this, but we really try to highlight what you guys are doing and telling people, hey, look, this is great online. This is great when you read stuff. This is great to see stuff, but there is nothing.
You got to go experience it. It's all about the experience. That's the thing that we tell everybody.
You never turn down a chance to go taste a bunch of rum in one room.
No, you just don't do that.
And it's not just tasting rum in a room. It's meeting distillers, meeting all of the people that are making these beautiful products too.
It's so funny. So, before we started this channel, we would go to the liquor store. I would go to the liquor store, and we'd pick up these fine bottles, and we'd be like, "Wow, this is
hell is that?" Yeah.
So some big company owns this and makes this. I don't know anything about them, but I'll try their product and see if I like it. And the more and more we got involved, the more and more we realized that, what? These are real people.
Right.
These are real people trying to make their own dreams come true.
And there's a real story there.
And so, once we absolutely. I mean, just rums.
There's
I feel like I should be
people.
holding a bottle too. 'Cause
So
you're
I mean,
holding a bottle.
if you haven't seen already, I mean, we've got a just rum, and we have
Yeah.
a Doc Brown's really bad sign behind it.
Those guys are front and center. Yeah.
You know, and so they're front and center because we are continuously pushing for both those companies and other companies. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got Rum Rats back here. We've got other companies that we try and push all the time.
Yeah, but again,
you know,
they're real people, aren't they? So
they are real people.
So,
you know,
so what?
and they've got great products. They're not a big corporation,
Right.
and you know they care about the product that they're putting out.
Now, as much as we love listening to Royer
Yes.
rants
I'm
about,
sorry.
all of
I
his
apologize.
feelings,
I apologize. I get
No, rant.
getting all
It's,
excited
I-
over here.
You're
Getting on his
excited.
hey, it's rum. You can rant.
I'm excited.
I apologize.
because we've got-
That's not
we've
what
got
we
some
brought to
really
you.
cool things coming this year. I think you're
Look
gonna
how excited Robin is.
you're gonna be really surprised. And
Yeah.
I've worked really hard to get like some really cool people at the show.
So this is what I was
Yeah.
just going to ask you. So I know you guys got the event coming up here. It's next weekend, not
Yep.
this weekend, but the following weekend. And
Veterans Day
so
weekend, right?
as we get ready to head out that way, I don't have you guys shared everybody that's going to be there, kind of everything going on.
No.
Is that
No,
No.
I mean, if you pay attention to the social media, you'll see all the clues. But let me go over what I think is a real coup.
okay.
all right?
Please.
That is, like we always try to reach out and have the best seminars we can. You know, you guys have seen some of the seminars. And
Yeah,
yes.
we have.
some heavy hitters. So, you know, one of the things that I try to get, to me, the holy grail has been for a long time, and you just can't get it, is Long Pond in Jamaica, right? So
Yeah.
here's a legacy distillery that went
Yeah.
down and came back. And like the pot stills are old, like from your grandmother's day, and the rum they make is like wild and funky and old style, and which is coming back into favor with people,
It
right?
is.
Now people want to try these wild things. So I've got Martha Miller coming from National Rums of Jamaica, and she's going to tell us what's going on at Long Pond and Clarendon, the other distillery that they own. And Clarendon is really kind of quiet. They make Money Musk, which we love,
Yep.
a brand from Jamaica, but they also do a lot of bulk rum for other people. And we're going to hear a lot about what they're doing. But Long Pond is just the holy grail of cool. What's going on with them? It's going to come back. It's going to be coming back, and we're going to be watching. They're making rum, and they had a fire in the fermentation area, and that set them back a little bit. But the rum has to age before we can really see it and appreciate it. But it's coming then. One of our favorite rums of all time is Barbancourt rum from Haiti. And a few years back, our old friend Terry passed away, Terry Gardier. And there was some sort of, confusion, what might go on with the brand. And Delphine, his daughter, had been working with him. And then she went off to Europe to college and then studied and was working in the perfume business, and which is aromas, to say the least, right? And so she came back, and there was a little bit of the challenge of getting the company back together. And of course, being in Haiti, everything's a challenge, right?
Oh yeah.
But she succeeded in getting control of the company. She set out a new plan, and she's going back in time, not messing with anything that they have, but going back in time and bringing back some old methods that they used to use and making some new products, which,
That's very cool.
Awesome.
it's sort of secret stuff, and we want them to tell us everything they know. And so what's going on with Barbancourt is indicative of what's going on with a lot of these legacy distillers, is that they're reaching back in time and being able to go back to an old method and try that again without, messing with what they're currently doing, something new. So that's really cool. And then, of course, one of the big mysteries in the world is what happens at Bacardi, or Bacardi, as they say. And so we just happen to get so lucky that the blending team came to us and said, we want to do a seminar.
No kidding.
Well, they were at our seminar last year.
Yeah.
For, the plantation did all day long.
Right.
And they were so impressed. They said,
That's
We-
awesome.
They
so-
thought that was so cool. And they said, you have to come and see what we have going on in Jacksonville. And now, most of the rum that they make, the biggest rum company in the West, Bacardi, most of the rum they make in Puerto Rico is not bottled there. It's bottled in Jacksonville. So giant bulk amounts of rum come into Jacksonville. That's where they have maybe the most sophisticated bottling operation in the world. And that's where the blenders are. And that's where they're always working on secret new products. And so we are going to finally, for the first time, peel back some layers and go on the inside of the inner sanctum of the blending team.
Right.
at
And it's
Bacardi.
not any single person anymore. Now it's a
Right.
team.
If two of them get hit by a truck, it's okay. They're going to survive.
So
you know?
one of the things, I'm going to jump in here for just a minute, Rob, because one of the things that that you're touching on with Bacardi is some of their new experimental stuff. So recently, at our rum club, so we've got a rum club that we meet once a month, and we actually had a new product of theirs come through. It was how old was it?
You're talking about so it's a product of Bacardi.
It is a product.
It is the Eximo.
Yeah.
Oh,
so this
sure.
is, So this is, we've only got a little bottle
You
of
got
it.
that much, huh?
We got that, but this is a great big bottle. My hands are just huge.
The internet.
That's right. That's right. Your TV cannot tell the right perspective, folks.
But so we found out that this is actually a Bacardi product.
Yeah.
You know, which
although it's called Facundo.
Those are the Facundo rums.
Yes, exactly. And it's very, very good. Very, very
amazing.
Good. You know,
and I'll tell you a quick little sidestep before we go back, is that back in 2011 and 12, we secretly tested those rums.
Did you?
Yeah. It was the first time Bacardi ever had an outside team be their focus group.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We went through, in different meetings, we went through at least 30 or 40 blends and things and helped them finalize it down to the 4 rums that they put out.
That is awesome.
That's a huge coup right there, you know.
Oh, it's so cool.
That is amazing.
That's
really
and
cool.
then when they'd had the launch, they had us all for a very special dinner.
A really exclusive club on Miami Beach called the Bath Club, or the Bath Club, you know.
Yeah.
And they gave us all Baccarat crystal glasses and said we couldn't have done this without you.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was about 15 or 16 of us that were on the focus group, right?
Yeah.
You know, the members of the International Rum Expert Panel. And it was a little marriage made in heaven. And those rums are very special.
Yes.
And they knew they could do it. They took some of the family reserves and they blended some stuff together. And they just wanted some outside opinion on, you know, little changes or which one is better and all that. So anyway, that's the story there. You have the Paraíso is the ultimate one. That's the $250 bottle finished in cognac and stuff. And then you have the Exquisito and the Eximo, and you remember what was the name of the white one?
Something with an N, right? I'd have to go get it. I'll go get it.
Yeah.
Remember when you have all these rums,
but it's very different from any of their other white rum. You know, it's a smoother
Neo.
Okay.
Neo. That's it.
Okay.
All I had to do is stand up and I remember.
All right. So now we're going to go back to seminars, and I'm going to finish off with the coup de grace.
Yeah.
So we know that the Bacardi blending team is coming. That's great. But now, one of the coolest distilleries that you could ever visit in the modern era is right down the street from probably the oldest distillery that's still running in its original form, and that's in Grenada, where River Antoine is like going back in time in a working rum museum to the 1780s. They still have fire under the still. They have a water wheel that crushes. I mean,
with fire under the stills.
It's they're moving. They have these long handled pots, right? And because it's really hot by the fire, and they have these big copper pots like you see that they used to use, and they're scupping a little bit of boiling syrup from one into the other, into the other, to the other.
Wow.
It gets so thick that it becomes stable, and then they put it in a container, and then they ferment that. So anyway, it's so going back in time. But now, right down the street in Grenada is the most modern distillery in the world.
Just built. We were there for the groundbreaking,
right?
In 2018, was it?
2018. Yeah,
2018.
Yeah. So Renegade Rum, it is doing an experiment here that you have. I'll give you some hints here, but you'll have to hear the whole seminar to really understand it. What they've done is they have 11 different farms in Grenada. And each of those farms has different fields, and each field is big enough to say harvest 1 day's worth of cane, right?
Yeah.
And I think that altogether there's 39 fields or something like that. So I'll get the numbers right at the seminar. But here's what they've done. Every field is like on a different slope. It's near the sea. It's up on a hill. It's in a flat area. It's a part that rains a lot. You know, every different field is different, and the soil is different. And so they go to a lot of trouble to grow just the right cane in every field. Then they ferment and distill that separately, and then they bottle that, and that's that cane, that field, that time of the year. All right. And so they have all these different ones then, and when you go tasting them all, you're like, you know, one field that's close to another doesn't taste the same at all, you know, or another one.
That is so cool.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
A little bit of salinity from the sea, and you know,
yeah,
and it's just so wildly different. It reminds me of being in Haiti and tasting all the clairin that are made everywhere, and each one is near a different field of a crop or something.
The most similar thing is
so
the clairin.
The DNA is different in every one of these,
right?
What they call a precast, you know, expressions. And so when you see all of that, it's like having different notes or different colors for an artist to paint with. And when you start to put them together later, you have, first of all, you have documented everything, you know, that field, that day, that, you know, and you know, you get your tasting note. That they do this obviously with cognac, with champagne, with fine wine. It's the DNA of the fields, and then the blend is the best of all of that, right? So the guys from Grenada, Renegade, are now starting to put together what they call their cuvee. A cuvee is a blend of wines traditionally. So we're using the French nomenclature here. So they are now putting together these disparate notes, aging and blending, and they're going to present for the first time ever 3 of their cuvées that we're going to be able to taste. But you first want to hear each of the notes of music separately, and then you want to hear them together. So that's a really exciting thing to pull off. I'm almost surprised we did it, but we did. And so there's 4 seminars there, you know, they're going to be, I think, really eye-opening and really, really state-of-the-art, to stay in touch with all the people out there that are really doing something unique, you know.
I think it's really amazing. I'm super excited for it. I want to bring a couple of people up to speed here.
So we do have some comments. We're going to break in here,
and then I'm going to jump back to it here. So Doc has said that he appreciates what you guys do, supporting all rum brands, big and small. Resurrection Paranormal jumped in to say hello. He's in Mexico and took the time to jump in. We appreciate you.
That's great.
You know, we got looks like Rob Really Bad Rum. Doc is asking to show your rum bar collection. We might have to see that. You might have to see that a little bit if you guys haven't seen it.
You can see it online if you go to rumwreck.com.
Rumwreck.com.
Yeah, because it's called the Rumwreck Dive Bar.
Okay.
I
love
it. You can get a little glimpse of about 1,800 rums at the bar. Yeah.
Just a couple. Just a couple.
Wow.
Right? Look
it's about half of the collection.
See, Roy, and you think I told you, we need to buy more rum. We need to buy more rum.
I know. We need to buy more.
We don't have enough. We're
not even close.
We're control
calculated that we're collecting something around 300 rums a year.
That's amazing.
And, you know, when you do that for 10 or 15, and maybe we're losing 20 rums a month, or I don't know. So, you know, there's a balance, but in the end, you know, we're certainly collecting a lot more rum.
I don't know if you can see.
Oh, there we go. We got a little. Oh, your lock screen came on.
Oh,
you just paused
it. Anyway, go to the website and go see it. You on a little phone on it.
Yeah, I mean, but you can get the idea.
There's a lot going on there.
So what's that website one more time?
Rumwreck.
Rumwreck.
RUMWRECK. You can also go rumwreckdive.com. So, but the idea is also there. You'll see that from the Rum Minute videos, you see that is the TV studio.
Yeah. Yep.
That there's TV lights there. There's a sound recording system, and
So-
I can just stand there and do remote control the whole thing. It's
So
wonderful.
Rob, let's talk about that for a minute. So
Yeah.
tell everybody about your rum minute.
Okay,
Please.
so Rum Minute is, my idea was, God bless us all, but I don't have time to listen to 45 minutes of somebody talking about one rum. All right, so
Yeah, like us talking about 13 minutes of rum. That's
you,
ridiculous.
you guys are really good at pontificating.
Ridiculous.
I like that.
It's too
And-
long.
but you're also entertaining. And okay,
Well, we appreciate that. I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
word we would use.
One of us
but-
tries anyhow.
my approach to my rum articles is that they also don't go on and on and on about how I went and visited someplace or something. I mean,
Yep.
I try to just bring you the salient points. You got to still figure out the rest, but I'm going to give
Yep.
you the core values of why I think a rum is interesting. And so when I do videos, I do the same thing. I think the longest one is 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So-
The cocktail ones that Robert Jr.
Yeah.
or Rob Jr. has done are probably the longer ones because it's tough with cocktail.
It takes longer
No.
to
Yeah.
make a cocktail. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The idea was succinct and to the point, and I'm not going to tell you everything there is to know. I'm going to tell you the main points, and then you can sneak and watch this thing at work. In about the time it takes
love
to blow your
that.
nose. So yeah,
Don't tell anybody.
that's the idea. So
And
That's
you'll find links for all the different things we do on the Rum Festival. Down the side, you find, the Rob's Rum Guide and
the rum cruise.
the
Yep.
Rum.
Yep.
Cruise, all
I mean
those-
that's how you really got things going is with
And-
your
and-
Rob's Rum Guide, right?
And by the way, the
Yes.
rum cruise, which takes off on March 4th, completely sold out. But then
Yeah.
we have
some-
one cancellation.
we had one cancellation. So
So we do
For
have
like one person.
No, for two people.
two people in a
We have
cabin.
a cabin available. If you guys,
They look at each other.
yeah.
No, but it's now
My wife would kill me.
and like you say, it's great to go to the rum tasting room. It's a whole nother level of outer space to go to the VIP tour of the distillery.
Yeah.
So let's
Or nine
So
of them.
before we dive in any further here,
So I've got questions galore.
of course you do, Mr. Royer. We know that you do. So we got a couple things here. So Granada is where my father's from. Alu Graphics just jumped on here, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Talking a little bit about the distilleries over there. Sounds
Grenada
like
is really amazing. It really is.
yeah. And it sounds, Greg says it's with the sugar cane, how they're kind of having sections of different kinds that do different things. Sounds
Yeah.
like what Kuliana is doing, just on a
Yes.
smaller scale.
So
Yeah.
Super. Yep, that's exactly kind of the same process.
I don't
they're
know
doing.
if you're familiar with Kuliana
Yes.
rum,
Yes.
or not.
Of course.
but they've got an amazing product.
Well,
they've
what
got
they're
their
doing also
farm.
is that they're going back to vintage heirloom canes.
Exactly,
Kuliana.
exactly,
I mean,
100%.
it-
So
Right.
yeah, so we were.
That's a great.
I was fortunate enough
Great
to
Yeah, it's fine.
check out their sugarcane farm
Gloat
and
much.
go meet with Steve Jefferson there at Kuliana this past year, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So
And some of the guys in Hawaii, they want to call their rum agricole. I recommend that they just call it fresh cane rum.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think we should
Yep.
steal the words from the French.
Yep,
Let them have that. But
That's like,
absolutely.
I love that.
Prosecco champagne. You just,
yeah,
it's
or
different.
Spanish cava. It's
Yeah.
sparkling wine, but
Right.
that stuff they make in California, champagne.
I love it. So I want to circle back here before we move on. So we're talking about the seminars a little bit. We're talking
Yep.
about the amazing lineup you guys have.
Yep.
Something that doesn't get highlighted enough here, and it's something that I've said a million times. So when it comes to doing festivals and going to them, every festival is a little different. Everybody
Yeah.
does things a little different. Something that I really love about what you guys do is that you have 2 days. Okay. You go to a lot of festivals.
1, 2.
And it's one day, and the seminars are going on at the same time as the tasting, and the distillers are going out to try to present, and then they come in to
Yeah.
speak, but then they go back to the floor.
You're like, where should I be?
And you're
what,
like,
what should I be doing?
Where should I be devoting my time? I
You know?
want to do all the seminars, but I don't want to miss being down
Yeah.
there and being able to talk to people.
So
Yeah.
So what I really love about what you guys do is you've got day one, Saturday, you get the seminars, get the chance to go through all the seminars, talk, get really into the
learn.
inside knowledge
you get
of
knowledge.
these companies.
You
And
get knowledge.
it's
right?
amazing. And being able to do that. And then the next day, getting
Day
to
two.
be out on the floor and sample and be out there and not have to choose where your time gets devoted.
Exactly. And you get to meet the distillers right there. You know, that's just so cool.
And that's something that I think is super underrated, that not a lot of people who haven't been to festivals might not understand, but it's truly why this is our like absolute favorite trip, because it's just so much fun.
We love heading
to get
down
to do this over 2
days.
days.
That, and we bring back 3 check bags with us.
We do that.
Full of rum.
We do bring back 3 check bags full of rum.
You might just have to one of these days rent a car and drive back.
Right. And that's
one of these days we will.
We might have to make
with
a road
trailer.
For real.
Our show is one of the few shows where you can actually buy rum at the show.
Yeah.
That's the other
Sorry.
reason that we enjoy going.
Yep.
Is because we have gone to other rum festivals
and we can't buy it.
And you can't buy it. You have to go to a liquor store. They recommend a liquor store to go to, but yours,
that's nice, but yeah.
We can go right there and you sample. It's so beautiful because you can sample it right there.
Yeah.
And
go over and buy it.
And you go over and buy it. So we're
especially if you live in an area where
hang on.
Especially if you live in an area where you're not going to be able to get that rum that you sample.
Exactly.
You got to go buy it. Yeah.
True fact. So, in talking with Doc and John Hasbrook from Just Rum and Doc Brown's Really Bad Rum, I know that they both have had events at your show at the Rum Renaissance, and they both have done very, very well, because people are sampling their rums and they're like, oh, wow, this is really good. This is really different. This is what I'm looking for. And I want to go buy this. And they can go over and actually buy it at your event.
But just like us, they really appreciate the fact that they just met the guy who made the rum.
You know who did really well that one year is we had Kermit Weeks.
Yeah.
And he made a rum.
Naked in Jamaica.
Don't realize that he is like the world's best acrobatic pilot.
Yeah.
Right here.
And people would buy his rum and go over and sign my bottle.
Yeah. We got it signed right here.
We did that.
We did that.
Yeah, see?
Yep.
And you know what?
He is a great character, isn't he?
He won't come anymore because he said the rum that's left, he's just going to keep it all for himself.
Yeah.
Yep. I noticed he stopped selling.
Yeah.
I'm so sad about it. It was one of my favorite things.
Every time he went down to Florida,
I'd buy a bunch.
He would buy a bunch. He would have it delivered to the hotel that he was staying at. He would bring it back. It's like he was so sad.
I saw some at Jensen, so they still have some.
It's not available to order online, so we just might have to swing.
Some people still have stock. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you like, Jensen's will buy a ton of stock and they'll sell it over time.
We're going then because it's not available online, because that's why I ordered.
Good thing we rented
to my hotels.
Now let me ask you something. I bet he made you put on the headphones and listen to his song.
You did. It's like you were just right there.
I'm naked in Jamaica, baby.
Yep.
I don't remember the exact song.
That has its own theme song.
Well,
I will say,
met him. The funniest story, right? We were going on a rum cruise, and we were flying down to Puerto Rico, and somehow Rob got invited to sit in first class.
Yeah.
And Robert and I were sitting in the back, and the next thing you know, Rob comes out and he goes, I just met this guy and he was so excited. He's going on a rum cruise. So
I'm sitting next to a guy I know Kermit Weeks from when we were in high school. He's a few years older than me,
right?
Brother, right? And so I'm like, are you a pilot? And he goes, yeah, I'm a pilot. I'm like, where are you going? He goes, I'm going on a rum cruise.
Yeah.
There's this guy that's taking us to all these, and he went on for about 5 minutes. I just let him talk,
That's
I'm
so
like,
cool.
yeah, I'm that guy. He goes, you're the guy. Like, yeah. Maybe you don't remember me from 40 years ago.
Right, but that was fun.
So then it was like, wow, we just had the greatest time for a week on the cruise.
Yeah, and he brought his family, and they did their thing, and he did his thing.
And he wanted to see how everybody else makes rum.
Right.
Yeah.
To see
before he made his.
To see what he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And all that. So
you bet.
It was pretty cool. He is a wild, crazy character.
So I'm gonna, before you jump in, I'm gonna segue here. This is a great point to make. You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Jump right in there.
Just like Kermit, okay,
yeah.
We in the beginning of our rum journey did a very similar thing. Now I don't know if we've told you guys this, but we came in 2019.
Oh my God, what are we doing?
And we went to the Rum Fest, right? And what a lot of people don't know is, you kind of see us now and we have the group and we have the Rum Club and we got all this stuff. But what people don't realize is in 2019, when we came to the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival, we came with 7 subscribers on YouTube.
That was it.
At the very beginning. And we knew nothing. And
you related to all 7 of them, I bet, right?
Yep.
So.
Exactly.
At least 6.
But we came home with 9. So we made 2 friends.
Well, to be fair, we stood there and made them subscribe.
Well, there you go. Right. Well, I mean, right. The gun had blanks, but who knew?
Exactly.
But it was truly amazing because we came, educated ourselves, learned a lot, and that's everybody's got a starting point. And this is one of the things we promote big is that it doesn't matter where you are in your rum journey. No. It's never too early, too late, in the middle, doesn't matter. Go and educate, learn.
Yeah. Nobody knows it all. That's why we keep going. Keep more distilleries.
There's more to learn and
listen,
new coming out.
The distilleries themselves. I mean, here's a good example. Mount Gay. Everybody loves Mount Gay, right?
Yep.
In 2009, Mount Gay only made big jugs of Eclipse rum and a little bit of Mount Gay XO. The company that we know as Mount Gay now didn't exist. All right. They were just competing with Bacardi in terms of bulk, cheap rum. And they sold a little bit of Mount Gay XO, and that was it. They had another product that they had before, and they only had it in Barbados. It was over here a little bit called sugarcane brandy, but that was a sort of an oddball product. They weren't allowed to call it brandy in the United States, so they called it sugarcane rum. I don't know, something, but that was a bit of a sweet rum. People talk about they don't have sweet rum. Yeah, they did. So, but it wasn't until 2009 that they came out with 1703, the Grand Dame of a blend of 10 to 30-year-old rums, and suddenly they were a prestige. Now, does that eclipse by selling 700,000 cases a year still pay the bills? Yes, it does. But what we know them for is that they just keep coming out with more interesting, expensive stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But no, it was just 12, 13 years ago that they were just a bulk rum producer. So, and you look at Foursquare, the same thing. When we first met Richard, he made Dourleys. He had one product that was it the 2009 vintage? He gave us a bottle of it. We're
I think so.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Now that is worth thousands of dollars now if you have that, because nobody knew it back then. He didn't make very much, but 2008, 2007, something. I have a bottle of it. But so again, Richard Seal completely changed who he is and what he does. He was just trying to compete as a small producer in Barbados and sell some rum, and he wasn't doing much in the US, if anything at all.
Europe was bigger.
And now he's a darling, isn't he? So if you look around, so many companies, let's say Abuelo in Panama, right? They made a splash in the 90s in Miami when they had a really good añejo for $9. And you'd go in a liquor store and there would be a pyramid of it in the front. And you're like, $9? Sure, I'll take a few of these, right? And then later on, 2002 maybe, they came out with their 7-year-old, and this was wonderful because now this was a really good blend. It was made by Don Pancho, and this was like Cruzan's single barrel back then, a $20, $22 rum that was really good. So they started off as just a cheap rum that you bought it because it's cheap. And then they started premiumizing a little bit. Then they came out with the 12-year-old series. And then eventually, what was it, maybe 2012 or 13, they came out with Centuria.
Centuria.
The $100 one. So again, all these companies have reinvented themselves. And people who have sort of come into rum later don't realize that it was just all a bunch of bulk rum.
Yeah. Now they'll be at the show. Abuelo will be at the show, and also Matusalem.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, I'm
very,
so
very nice.
Now, Matusalem, when they had their 15 back in the 90s, that was about the oldest rum around. Matusalem 15-year-old, and that was like off the chart, and it wasn't that expensive.
So
So
last year, Rob, I remember Robin. I remember last year we actually met Don Pancho.
Yep, he was there.
Right, at your event.
Yeah, what a
which was
guy.
really cool. You know,
and by the way, he sends his regrets that his doctor has suggested that he not come this year. And
man,
you know, I worry about him a
understandable.
little. He's 85 this year.
yeah.
He has a book that's coming out, but it's been
Yeah.
delayed. He was going to come and bring the book. But,
Yeah, and
Was
he asked me to write the intro to his book.
yeah.
Well, that's
And
cool.
I
Really
was,
cool. That's cool.
I was flabbergasted to do that, and you know, and give a little perspective
You
of
bet.
where it fits into the whole rum legend. You know,
So hopefully, maybe next year he'll be back and he'll have his book. So.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
he's always up
break
to
in.
something. I mean, it's amazing.
I'm gonna break in here real quick. I want to just kind of go off a little bit and have you tell us about your rum cruises that you put together.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well-
kind of step us through kind of the experience that if somebody signs up for one of your rum cruises,
Right.
what can they expect? Right?
Well, here the first thing is that we don't really like cruises that much, but
Yeah.
look at the logistics. If we let's say that 15 or 20 of us went to Puerto Rico and Antigua and Barbados and
Yep.
Martinique and St. Lucia and Grenada, all these small flights, you could barely take any rum with you.
Right?
And then how do you bring it all back?
Take any clothes with you?
Yeah. And the cost is ridiculous. And you spend an inordinate amount of time in customs and airports and lines
Mhm.
waiting and hassles
Exactly.
that happen with all of that. And
Yep.
so we gave it a shot one time. We planned the first one. We didn't really have any idea how it might go, but we talked to the distilleries. We said, we're going to bring, at the time we thought 20 people, it ended up being 47. Now, I don't recommend, and I wouldn't do 47 ever again.
No, we limit it to 16 now.
It was a mob. It was too many. And some of these places where we go, it's not very big,
Yeah.
and then vans and renting vans and logistics, and it's the islands. So, anything could go wrong, and it will. So we've since tried to keep it to 15 or 20 people at the most. And 12 is good, but the idea is that we have access to the distilleries. I practically do the tours myself, and there's a lot of context that I add to it from my years of understanding what's going on with this distillery and others. And the
Mhm.
truth is, when we go to distilleries, sometimes they inquire of us of what about that other distillery? How do they do and stuff? So, they're a lot of them are operating on their own, and they heard that this other one does this or that. Do you know? And yeah, I'll tell you how they do it. And so, but the idea is that the biggest single concept is this: you can get 15 or 18 bottles on each island if you want,
Yes.
and bring them back on the ship. And they do take them from you when you come on the ship, and they put them away. And we worried about that a little bit, but we've never lost a bottle, so that's pretty good. Otherwise your cabin would be kind of getting full. And somewhere there's a room on this ship that's so full of friggin' rum.
Well, actually, the last night does get pretty full because they bring you everything the very last night.
Yeah,
so
when
you
you're-
can pack it.
They bring all the rum to you, and then you go, we bought how much? Oh my God. So, and then you just had to figure, how do I fit it in suitcases?
So the
You
three
know?
of us one year brought back 44 bottles.
Yeah.
And that's when we flew into Puerto Rico. So now
Yeah.
the idea is when we leave from Fort Lauderdale,
Oh, so
it's
easy.
so much easier because you're leaving the US, you're coming back in the US. So you don't have to, you would have to deal with flights going home, but
Right.
you could always ship to yourself.
You
too.
rent that car after that
Yep.
trip.
That's what we need to do. We need to take the car ride. We'll load up
Road
the
trip.
bus.
Rum
And now
road.
here's what you get at the distilleries. Obviously, you can buy rum for the best price.
You bet.
And
and then
you
they-
can get things that you can't normally get.
Right,
anywhere
stuff that
else.
doesn't get imported in the US. And for example, when you're on St. Martin, which we do sometimes, the wholesale liquor store that sells to all the restaurants and the bars and the stores, they are our host. And we go in there and they have a tremendous amount of rum for a really good price. But also you can buy Cuban rum there. You can buy Martinique rum there. They have rums there. That's the famous place where you buy a watch and there's hardly any, duty on it and stuff.
No duties.
And so it's the
Yeah.
same with liquor. You can buy liquor there in St. Martin Now there's only one little distillery there, so it's not the best island for distilling, but on some islands we do distilleries and we do rum shops and tours.
Yeah,
And-
there you have Topper's rum, which is interesting because it's rum that she used to make a banana, what was it, banana
Vanilla,
with brown sugar
yeah,
for her restaurant.
and people loved
And
it.
people
Oh,
loved
wow.
it so much, they told her, start
Yeah.
making this and selling
They
it. You
forced her to
gotta sell
bottle it.
it.
And then later on, now when you go in there, they make you taste like 32 different potential flavors that they might make, and they write down what everybody thinks. I mean,
But
crazy.
other place I've ever seen that uses the topper on the bottle, like Just Rum.
Yeah,
They have that,
yeah,
that unique,
A milk bottle top to it.
like the gross.
Just like this,
the beer
right?
bottle.
yeah,
Yep, they
a
do.
lock top.
They're known for that there at Topper's Rum. So
That's awesome.
So
Yeah, so listen, sometimes we are going to buy rum that's $300 and $400 because you never see it again. Let's get two of those. But there's also rums that you can buy for $10 a liter
right.
that
Yeah.
you're just never going to get, and you want to have some of that.
I'd like
So-
to make a point though of, for example, when you go to Barbados, we go to Mount Gay. So many people have gone to the Mount Gay Welcome Center.
Yeah.
And they think that is the distillery. It's not.
Well-
It's the gift shop and the bottling area.
You see barrels and bottles,
So the real
and you
distillery,
think you're at the distillery. They're not going to tell you no, but the real distillery is far off in the north of the island.
yeah, it's an hour drive to the north.
Yeah.
And then you really get to see,
So a
Mount Gay,
lot of tourists have been to the Mount Gay distillery.
Yeah.
but not really.
so this is something that we've talked about before. I remember talking with you about this last year. So one of the differences, because people can take a cruise on their own, right?
Yeah.
And they can go take part in some of these excursions to
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
these different rum distilleries, but
Yeah.
they don't have necessarily the access that you have in doing this with your group, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and they tend to make special arrangements for us. I mean, listen, anyone can go to the Appleton Distillery and have a nice
bet.
tour.
Yeah.
They're not going to take you in there with the pot stills and and the sort of the back room stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So how often are you doing these rum cruises?
Once a year.
Once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for people to find out if you have a rum cruise going on?
Well, you just go to rumrenaissancecruise.com.
Rumrenaissancecruise.com.
I think if you just Google rum cruise, I don't know what else is out there.
I don't
but
think there's any
not
other
much.
rum cruise. Although I say that, and we have a surprise at the show. We have a gentleman coming that is going to put together a rum cruise on the Magdalena River in Colombia
Mhm.
on one
Oh,
of those
wow.
long barge.
That sounds
The
exotic.
river boats.
It's on a Mara cruises, which is very high class
Exclusive, yeah.
cruises.
Okay.
They do a lot of European cruises, on rivers, so they're the long, narrow boats. And he's putting this together for 2025.
Oh, wow.
on the
Sounds very
Magdalena.
cool.
And I
And
think
it's
they're
sounds
also
very
known
cool.
for, the ecotourism and
Yeah,
birding
it's
and that
beautiful.
sort of thing.
But also, they're not visiting as many distilleries as we do, but there's a lot of rum tasting on board,
Yeah,
so.
it's no, they're not visiting any distilleries. There are none.
Okay, well, there
Yeah.
are, but yeah,
Not
right on the river. Okay.
No. So what they're doing is going to be, unique, and we'll see. He's coming to the show to see what interest there is, and
He thinks it's a great idea and he wants to see if anybody else agrees. So
yeah.
Absolutely.
Fair
let's
enough.
find
That's
out.
cool.
First
So
of
I
all,
wanna
just
break
going
in
to
here.
Colombia has got to be really cool.
We got comments coming
Yep,
in
we
here. I want to
got
hit on.
comments.
All right, hit them up. Hit 'em up.
First of all, Really Bad Rum's going to be making their way through the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival. They're going to be showing up.
Great.
We just posted a nice little video.
You got to check this out. Okay, so seriously. So Really Bad Rum, they've got this RV that has all been skinned out in all the decor of just really bad rum, right?
That is so cool.
So, I mean, you're going to see this logo. It's a black RV. It's going to be showing up to the Rum Renaissance. I'm sure they're going to be stopping in to say hi to everybody, all that good stuff. So, yeah, and check out the video that we just shared on our Facebook After Hours
Okay.
Please share that with as many people as what you possibly can,
There you go.
so
No
that
problem.
so that we can help them out on their journey.
Well,
Right?
they are wonderful, and again, real people, real rum.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah.
We got Greg chiming in here. You just need UPS shipping at the Rum Fest event. Otherwise, you can always drop it off at my house in Tampa. See, there we go. He's giving us options. We've got
People
options.
just want to help, right?
Yeah, they're just trying to be helpful.
There is a UPS shipper right around the corner from the.
There we go. See, we can send it on back.
Yeah, and they'll put all the wrapping and the beans and everything
it's
for you.
it's a package store.
It's
We
about
may
6
have to look
months
into
away.
that this year. We may have to look into
Might
that.
have to look into that.
Well,
You know
really
what?
bad rum.
Maybe I should tell them to have some cards or something there. It's a good,
That
Yeah.
would be a good, because we obviously have never utilized that, but we might have to this year.
Yeah,
That sounds like a smart idea.
Might have to.
Let's see here. In Iowa, they might drink their rum with a shot of ranch dressing. Phil says, ranch. Yes, absolutely. You never know here in Iowa.
Ranch and Bush Light. Yeah, baby.
Doc's
ranch on the side. Ranch on the side.
Yep,
right?
yep.
Doc's asking,
Oh,
what about
another thing we're gonna have is some people are gonna be making T-shirts on the fly. So
nice.
awesome.
get your
So-
rum Renaissance T-shirt with
Yeah.
rum is fun on the back.
I love that.
Are you gonna have some collared shirts like this again? Do you know?
I think we
Yeah.
still do have some in stock. Yeah.
We
Okay.
do.
But
Not
the
for
new
you.
shirts are great because they have a huge picture of me on the front. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm buying that one. That's the one I'm gonna wear. It's gonna be right here. Can't wait. Doc's asking,
Hey, that's a really nice piece there. That's it.
what about US made rum brands that whoa. Let's see here. I'm reading this wrong. Rob question, what about US made rum brands? What might you say to support them?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's a few things that I maybe won't tell you right now, but there's exciting things going on with Florida rum distillers as a group. But generally, we have been
Very
the
supportive.
most
We had the
supportive.
American Rum Festival Row one year at our show,
yeah.
where we had about 25 different rums from the US.
And it's
From
a
around the
challenge
US.
for the
Mhm.
because I'll tell you what, some of the best rums in Florida and other places, as you know, really do well with tourists coming to their facility and selling rum. And distribution is a challenge. Sometimes you can get distribution in 1 or 2 states. It's very difficult to get distribution in 50 states
Yeah.
or nationally. So
Yep.
so their challenge is really how to hit that, critical mass of distribution to make it worth it for them to go around to the rum festivals and be there.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest thing. The feedback we get from a lot of them is that, one, they can't be away from the place for a whole weekend
Right.
because they would lose a bunch of people coming to visit the distillery that weekend.
There's a distillery up in Lake Placid.
Yeah.
And he does something very similar to Grenada, where he's
Yeah.
doing, growing the cane, cutting it. He's doing
Making a batch
does
of time.
everything himself. And he's a one-man band. And he said, the weekends is when he makes all his money. People come in and they buy the rum and they hang out. He's got a big chickee and food trucks and
And
stuff.
he'll make
he
three
can't come
or
because
5 grand every
Yeah.
weekend. He can't turn that down.
even
So-
though it would get his name out there more, he just can't be afforded.
And by the way, when you put this on your list of places to go because it's really unique, Sugar Sands, and Don.
Don,
Uh,
what's his name?
Now, here's a guy who didn't know what he was doing. He was a fertilizer salesman, and he bought an old citrus grove, which is all sand. You don't grow cane in sand; you grow it in muck, right?
Right.
Swampy, And so he put out black little, fertilizer tubes, and he started growing his cane in the sand, sugar sand, and it grew like crazy. And he didn't know what to do. He bought a still and he chopped up some and he made a little bit every day. He didn't realize he was using the old plantation method of just cutting some cane, crushing it, fermenting it, and distilling it. He didn't even look around to see how anybody else did it, with molasses and everything, right? And so he just kind of stumbled into making his own rum his own way. And he made some mistakes. There was one batch he made where the fermentation got too hot. It tasted a little smoky. And I said, well, you can always tell people that that's a feature. And he's like, yeah, smoky rum, so but he's learned, and he makes some great rum. And once again, the common thread, he's a wonderful guy who you can get to know, and he makes great stuff. And so,
Yeah.
And that's so true of most of all of the Florida distillers, and of course the rest of them around the country. I mean, I think after you get to a certain size where maybe you have 30 employees, it's a little different. But below that, you have real hands-on on the making of your rum and every decision you make.
Awesome.
Do you get muddy
And
water?
that's,
No, Muddy is not coming, but we have Knox and Dunn Florida rum.
One of the ones that couldn't come this year, but you got to check them out, from North Carolina, is
Muddy
Muddy River, and they make an incredible Queen Charlotte rum. Do you have it?
no, but you had
They
mentioned
came to our
Knox.
show in 2018.
Yeah,
They have not been able to come back because they have been having kids, and
yeah.
the owner really just likes to make the rum. So now they just hired somebody.
Yeah.
Just recently.
Well, there's a guy that obviously
market,
he's so into making the rum, he can't take time off to sell.
So he really wanted to come to the show this year, but it was like too quick. He couldn't. He just started working there. So Joel Jaffe, he said next year they're definitely coming back with Muddy River. So
And
So
we
one
just
of the
them in
companies-
2010, and back in 2010, there wasn't a lot of American rum that was worthy. And we just thought, what are they doing over there? Queen Charlotte is fantastic. And we gave them an award. The Rum XPs gave them an award, and
they
were
will be
flabbergasted.
bringing back the blind tasting competition next year.
Yeah.
So throughout the years, you would say that the U.S. rums have really expanded. They've really been
oh yeah,
growing and learning how to make their product better.
you
right?
had the guys at Cedar Ridge in Iowa came and visited us one time at the Rum Wreck Dive Bar, and they're like, "Well, we're Iowa, but we made some rum, and we're also a winery." And so we tasted the rum. We said, well, it's pretty good. And they wanted to taste a bunch of rums at the bar, of course. And so one of the ones they tasted was Abuelo, finished in
Sherry Cask.
was
right?
sherry? No, it was the port.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
And they looked at each other, the father and the son, and the son said, "Dad, we make a port." And we all just looked at each other, and I said, "Go back and take one of those port barrels and put some rum in it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
test it every 2 weeks."
So
And
I mean,
I saw him 6 months later at Tales of the Cocktail in New Orleans, and they go, "Come over here, we got something to show you." And I'm like, what is it? And they go, "This is for you. It's the first bottle of our new port finished rum." And I had to taste it right there. I was like, "Oh, guys, this is beautiful." And they're like, "We're so glad that you just gave us that idea to take our own stuff and make something out of it, And so it's just by collaborating, that you, and listen, everybody's taking like a beer barrel and putting rum in it. They're taking a rum barrel and putting beer in it.
Yep.
And now Santa Teresa has a rum that's rested in a Scotch barrel.
Right.
Oh,
There's
really?
Yeah.
Papa's Pilar has a rye finish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lot of companies are doing the rye finish thing.
They'll
Yep.
be there.
Creativity, right? Now, maybe you like them and maybe it's not your favorite. It's different.
I
They're
don't
trying,
think
right?
that's remembered, but there's an American rum, Java Muir. It used to be called Rum Java,
Yeah.
and they
Okay,
had
yeah.
they had some problems with the copyright, and they had to rebrand themselves. So they're just coming back from rebranding, and he's going to be at the show and have Java Muir.
Now, this is the one that has a great story, real quick, because he loved rum and hated coffee.
And
She had a
she-
coffee company and hated rum. All right. And they made
That's awesome.
coffee rum, and they both liked it. And
Yeah.
so it's a hilarious, funny, cool story.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
so they
so-
really put their life into the greatest coffee in the rum.
Mhm.
And then with our encouragement, they started using better rum. And so it's really a great combination. So you'll have to see them at the show.
Yeah. So there's some pretty cool stuff going on. You'll have to come and see it all yourself.
So
And I
yeah, so
encourage everyone else to
let's get
come
to that
in person.
real briefly here. So you've got the Rum Renaissance that you have annually. You've got it going on November 11th
11 and
and
12.
12.
12,
Veterans Day. Yeah.
right?
Super excited.
We are super pumped. So if people are watching this right now, can they still buy tickets? Are you sold out?
You can probably come to the door and get tickets. There has been a few times where we reached the limit and people came to the door and couldn't get in. I'm sorry to say that, but
Yeah.
that's
It's
why
best to buy them in advance.
buy them in
Yes.
advance.
So
Just to make sure.
and we will be the
Last
first
year,
ones.
I had to wait until people were leaving
Yeah.
to come in.
Yeah,
So,
we managed to allow that when some people left, then they could go in.
yeah.
Yeah, just so you know, we usually get there at the beginning and we don't leave till the end.
Absolutely.
So we aren't going to be one of those people.
I've noticed.
That's
So,
okay. That's good.
Yeah. So, trust us when we say your event. We truly enjoy your event. We try and make it every year. We've tried to make it ever since 2019 was the first time that we were down there.
And that COVID thing,
with 7 whole subscribers.
Well,
And
there were 16,000 people. So
exactly. You've got a tremendous event. You got the seminars going on where you can actually learn more about the rum from other rum companies. You've got quite the coup going on with Bacardi joining the seminars this year, right? So that is very cool. I can't wait to talk. Just so you know, I probably will pull one of them aside and talk with them about Cart. I'm just saying. Because that was one of my personal favorites, and they did away with it.
Oh, that's too bad because it had a place. And you know what?
It did. It had a place.
And people ask me, what rum should I put in my rum cake? I'm like, Cart.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It tastes like bacon,
We had a friend that had a little restaurant and he made a banana pudding.
Bread pudding.
Bread pudding.
Yeah.
And he had like some really bad old bottle.
Now he said, I had some kind of orange label rum from Australia. And I was like, oh my God, you had Bundaberg. Probably the most popular, really bad rum. Yeah. I mean, with condolences to Doc Brown. This was really bad rum. And he goes, I didn't really like I go, look, don't ever use that. Good thing that was the only bottle you had. Some guy gave them the bottle 20 years ago. He had it in a drawer,
Wow.
So he used that. I said, don't use that. Use Cart. And he's like, oh, giant difference. This guy's a baker. And
so Cart is one of my favorites, and we met up with some people from Bacardi earlier this year, but they didn't really want to talk to us too much about the Cart.
Can you believe that?
Things come and go, but listen,
talk to the blenders.
The bottom line is that there are accountants, we call them bean counters,
right?
And they just go, that one doesn't pay the tip for lunch. Sorry.
So
this one's doing really good.
Going back to American Rums, we have a list on our Rob's Rum Guide of all the American rum producers that we are aware of, and it's quite extensive. We have it by state.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so if you go to robsrum.com and click on the link that says American Rums, you'll see quite an impressive list.
Yep.
Okay.
And listen, it's a chore to keep that up to date.
I was going to say, I mean, because these companies, they come and they go.
Yeah. And we ask everybody to send us a note when they've started a distillery, but we don't get everybody,
And so that's one of the things that we found early on. So come to, one of the companies that comes to mind is Gordian Knot.
Yeah.
Okay? And we met them and we hung out with them at the 2019 show at the Rum Renaissance. They were there at 2017.
No, they were there.
And we had a fantastic time. We had a fantastic time with them. Shortly after, I think they closed their doors, and I don't know that they're producing rum anymore.
I think it was that if you had to ask them, they probably would tell you distribution was tough.
Yeah, and that is the common problem. I mean, that's where Robert and I come in. Okay, so we try and get the word out about some of these rum companies that you don't normally hear about, and we try and educate people saying, there's more out there than your Captains and your Bacardis and your Cruisians and all these other big brands that are it's just everywhere already. It's flooded the market.
Yeah.
Those companies literally buy the market with their cheap with their cheap
Well,
products.
they have leverage. They have leverage, and they have a whole army of people working for them. Now, it really does work if you have the right kind of liquor store
Yeah,
for people
it
to go
does.
in there, local liquor store where they know you and you know them,
Yep.
and say, I can't get Gordian knot. Can you try to get it for me? And they should say, let me try to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
If
so that works.
But you
that's
have
one of the
to-
things that we always preach about is when you go to your favorite restaurant, your favorite liquor store, always ask them, because people don't realize that they can go in and they can request, hey, can you carry this rum? Oh, hey, I'm a regular customer here at your restaurant. Would you be willing to bring in this rum?
Right.
People don't realize that you can actually do that, and these owners of these businesses will actually do that for you.
And also the rum companies learn through distribution and through marketing. Like, for example, Brinley's rum is some great rum from St. Kitts, right? And they have wonderful flavors. Well, for example, we know that in South Florida, they sell more mango. What was the other one?
Mango and coconut.
Mango and coconut
cream.
outsells all the other ones in South Florida. In the middle of the state, not so much mango. The vanilla sells more, and the key lime. And so everything is like down here, people think mango. I like mango, so they grab the mango. Is that going to play in Iowa? I don't know. Maybe it won't,
So I did find a recent product put out by Bacardi. One of the things that, Bacardi, they're a big brand. They don't need our help in promoting their rum. Okay.
Yeah.
But I will say that they came out recently with a mango chili rum that I truly enjoy making some fun
spicy
cocktails.
Mango, right? Yeah. Spicy mango.
It's just got this little spicy back note to it.
Now, doesn't it just make you realize that somewhere in the blending room, there's 39 ideas?
Oh, yeah.
37 of them are going to die an unborn death, but they're trying, potato chip flavor. I mean, God knows what you could ever think of. Barbecue, pork rum. I'm sure they're going to tell some great stories of the kind of stuff they go through until one makes it out the door. Everybody had to salute,
Yep.
And then it's up to the market.
Yep.
But look at the Captain Morgan. Some of the weird ones they've done. I mean,
black cherry,
apples, sour apple. Something.
That was a weird one.
I mean, you if you had just as a fun thing, all these expressions from Captain Morgan over here, because they come and go. The cannonball bottles. Stuff. I mean, they had one that was a lime jalapeno. I guess like maybe that makes a margarita like you never.
Probably competes with Fireball or Jägermeister.
Oh, yeah.
They are trying to have that challenge shot, victory.
Yeah.
And I think Fireball really surprised everybody when they took it from Jägermeister.
Well, keeping up with the with law, and you read an article today now that somebody's filing a lawsuit that could change.
Yeah, one of the big things in our industry is that you can't buy rum directly from. Let's say you go visit a distillery in Iowa. You go to Cedar Ridge, right?
Yep.
Is it Cedar Creek? No, it's Cedar Ridge.
Yep. Cedar Ridge.
And you like their stuff, and you go back to Florida, you go back to Georgia, wherever you live, and you're like, why can't I just call those guys up and ship me a case and pay them directly? Well, there was a lawsuit years ago that went all the way to the Supreme Court in terms of wine. And the law firm that won that case, now you can ship wine state to state without any restrictions, but not liquor. Oh, well, now that same law firm has a client in Washington, D.C., in Washington State.
Oh, nice.
It's a distillery, and it's going through the courts now. And we're always watching. It's making progress. So one of these days, God forbid, if you could meet some guys at the Rum Fest who have a distillery in Great Salt Lake, and you love their stuff, and you could go back to Iowa and order a case once a year and enjoy that, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're from
Dented Brick is Great Salt Lake. Yeah.
Salt Lake. And again, they are not coming to the show this year because they lost their distribution
in Florida.
So yeah, they're
so we're running on a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And,
got some more questions?
Yes.
So So we don't right now. We
Okay.
had some things going on here, but we got it taken care of. I just want to say we have the best true community in the world. Thank you for your help tonight. Appreciate
Guys do
you
have a
guys.
great-
You know why. And so we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, sharing a little bit about everything that you guys do for the rum industry as it's coming up, the rum festivals, the cruises. What you guys do is God's work. We are super, super excited to be able to be a part of it in the coming weeks. So we just cannot wait to come out there and hang out with you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Please
to share
save some
this.
time for us. And
Yeah.
Doc is requesting a 40-foot parking spot.
Yeah,
So-
no problem, Doc.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, but you know what? But you better get there early, Doc. You know.
Don't take all the room for my exhibitors either.
No, but actually, if you park on the south side of the block at the women's club, there you could probably get away with it. So do that.
That'll be the caterer spot.
But listen, one thing that we always want to remind everybody, and the truth is, we're doing it right now. Rum is fun, and rum people are fun people. You guys, the fact that we're attracted to rum together, it's just a ton of fun.
It's all about rum community, rum family, we
Yeah,
call it.
absolutely.
It is.
Yep.
You got it.
I love
Rum
it.
buddies, you know.
And people are easy to get to know.
Absolutely.
exactly.
You know,
We all have that, share that common thing, and
do.
everybody, and that's why the party. I was so happy they came last year, and they like, they fit in with all of us, and
no,
like we have to be here.
and they reached
Why
out to
aren't
us.
they
Now,
here?
if we had reached out to them, the chances of us finding the right person
Right.
Oh yeah.
and about like us going to the moon on a bicycle, but when they reached out to us, that was like a little dream there. Like, wow.
And when you meet them, you're gonna they're just regular people
Wonderful,
like us.
wonderful folks.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that you'll have some time to share with us at your event. I know that we know that you're going to be extremely busy. But I hope that we can share some time together and just sit down and have a drink and
absolutely.
just talk.
You may end up in a hotel room or by a pool. That's never happened before.
We love it. That sounds like the
awesome.
best. We're literally looking forward to it. Once again, just want to give you guys a huge thank you for coming and hanging out with us tonight. We are going to wrap up here. Thank you to everybody for the questions, being involved, and all you amazing people out there that helped us
appreciate
tonight.
all of you.
You guys are absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. With that being said, we're going to sign off here, guys. We are so excited to see you guys here in a week. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a good time.
It'll be
Rum
great.
Scout said if you want to do this again next week, he'll make himself available to you.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. All right.
Tonight.
We might have to catch
We
him
might.
on another time before we launch off, but we
I
definitely
think last
love to
time
have
he
him
did some
back.
cocktails with you, didn't he, or something?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
he
would love
did.
to have him
Oh,
back.
okay.
We would love to have
We're
it
gonna
back.
have to line that up. I
Love
love
that.
that. So
All
with that
right.
being said, huge thank you to everyone. Make sure you hit those thumbs ups. Let us know you were here. Appreciate
fun.
every single one of you. Rum is fun. And with that, Royer, let's get them home safe.
Always drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and no rums were harmed during the making of this video.
Not at all. We'll see you later, guys.